now listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys watch their way through Sex and the City for the first time ever. Mostly, I'm Cory Cavin.
I'm Kevin James Doyle.
My name is Jon Sieber. And we're coming
And
back. We're back at you on Skype or on Zoom.
We're back at you.
Ga,
on
ga, ga.
Zoom,
Ga, ga, ga.
on Skype. Playing
Welcome to
You
the
Don't Know
Bradshaw
Jack.
Boys March Bradness. Ladies and gentlemen, the past month has been absolutely wild. How do they get those guys? Do you think the next generation of sportscasters will talk that way? Or was that like a
The next
generational thing?
The next generation of sportscasters, I feel like, are all YouTube stars already.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Post Malone, tattoo face people. Just
It'll be
talking.
like people like that. It'll be people that have like massive Instagram accounts that are famous for something else, but they're like, I also like basketball, you know?
Because if
It's
you
those kind of
if
guys.
you think about like in the 1920s when they had like Scoops Callahan, he's like, hey champ. You gave him the 1-2 punch and he gave you the back and forth dizzy. What are you gonna do, champ? Like it's changed a lot.
I just want to interrupt you, and I want to say two things. One, we have made it part of our goal on this podcast to like be fans of the show and not rip on the show. And the other thing we talked about when we first started this is not to rip on Scoops Callahan.
I'm
okay?
sorry.
So
You're
shut
right.
your fucking trap about Scoops Callahan.
You know
He was
what?
one of
Yeah.
the greatest of all time.
The old reporter from the Prohibition era was
I'm Scoops Callahan.
back with the
I'm
bare
Scoops
knuckle
Callahan,
boxing.
here's my map of 16 places to get great bathtub gin.
So here we are. Sorry we had to take a week off of March Bradness. We just had to, we had to get the whole gang together, get the entire cast of Sex and the City together to pay honor to some of the heroes of our country right now.
You know, I've been meaning
That's
to
right.
talk about that. Like, I know, we had to do that video, but like, there's Bradness to play, guys. There's ball to play here. I think we kind of made a mistake here. We messed up.
We're sorry. The tournament did get pushed back a week. We're glad that we could have some faces. It's kind of like when there is like a mini series or something that you're watching, and they're like the chimney sweeps will return next week, but tonight it's Scoops Callahan on ice. Like when they break up, they like push the finale back. Like that's what happened. But tonight is the finale of the chimney sweeps. You're finally going to get to see what happens.
And
AKA
Exactly.
March Bradness.
And there's no better way to start on this audio podcast, because we got some video Zoom for our Instagram, is to show them our backgrounds. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with Cory Cavin. Who are you rocking behind you on the Zoom, Cory?
I'm rocking a couple of doppelgangers. Right now, I have on one side, I've got Chris Noth, a.k.a. Mr. Big. And on the other side, I have a slightly angrier Chris Noth, a.k.a. Mr. Big. Just kidding. It's Sam the Eagle from from the Muppets.
You have Mr. Big,
Sam the Eagle from the Muppets.
Mr. Big,
He
and
looks
Mr.
like
Bird.
Mr. Big and Mr. Beak. Yeah, I just Googled, I think I Googled Sex and the City worst guys, and this was a meme someone had made on Twitter. It was Sam the Eagle from the Muppets and Chris Noth. And they really kind of look alike.
They
Oh my
really
gosh.
do. It's
Like if someone was like, hey, make a Muppet of Mr. Big. Now here's the thing. It's got to be like a puppet, so it can't just be a realistic human. So go nuts. They would be like, have you seen Sam the Eagle?
what would Raoul look like? What would Raoul the Muppet look like?
I wonder if he would look, Bunsen and Beaker? I wonder if he would look
Holy-
like Bunsen.
We have to do
Not
this.
Beaker, but Bunsen, the smart one.
We have to do this before it comes out, so maybe we should text about it, and I'll like get on it tonight or tomorrow
Muppets
morning.
for
But
every character.
Muppets for every Sex in the City character.
That is so good.
That's great.
Well, we
Talked
talked a while about Sesame Street in the city.
Yeah, we talked about Sex Sesame Street. We need to find that episode. We've gotten a lot of people that have like tweeted at us and have messaged our Instagram about Sex Sesame Street.
Yeah, we need to find Sex Sesame Street episode.
There's a whole bit that we did, something about Oscar doing something horribly sexual inside a trash can.
Oh my gosh.
Or some weird fetish he has or something like that.
What if I mean I feel like Sam would hook up with Oscar.
I think
sure.
that the bit is something about that and something about Snuffleupagus and his like giant nose dong.
So here's
Oh my
here's like
gosh.
a dumb question. What's the difference between Muppets and Sesame Street? Were the Muppets on Sesame Street?
Well, they're two different TV
No.
shows, but they were Sesame Street is Jim Henson, correct?
Yeah, they're both Henson creations.
Okay, but they're just two different. Like the Muppets and Sesame Street are just two different things.
They're just two different shows and two different universes. And
Are we
I
gonna
know
be the
that there's
Muppet
got to
Men?
be some sort of. We could be the Muppet Men. Oh, Muppet Men would be
Podcast
great.
for your kids. You listen to the Bradshaw Boys. Have your kids listen to the Muppet Men. We
Yeah,
go
listen,
through
Muppet
every.
Men, a little bit cleaner. Yeah, totally.
We talk about every Muppet episode that ever came out.
Okay, real quick, and then we got to move on. Let's try for the four ladies. Carrie's Miss Piggy, easy. Carrie's Miss Piggy, blonde
Okay.
hair.
A little
I just don't
dramatic.
know enough.
She's dramatic when she's not.
Dramatic.
She's always trying to get. She's always trying to get Aiden or Big's attention, like Kermit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Carrie's Miss Piggy.
so who's Kermit? I mean, are you going off looks? Because I mean, the eagle has to be Mr. Big.
Eagles no matter what.
But
Eagles.
Did
Mr.
the
Big.
eagle and Miss Piggy like interact at all?
No, I mean that would
So
be
then,
Kermit.
so then Noth would have to be Kermit, which doesn't make like. That's why I feel like
It doesn't go relationship wise. It just goes look.
I don't know if it goes
looks.
related. It doesn't. You don't match the universe. I think you just have to have a reason for why. Because I think if you're gonna go, like, I think Kermit would be Steve.
yeah, for sure.
Kermit would
Kermit's
be
Steve.
Steve, and Big Bird is Aiden for sure.
For sure.
Totally.
Dude,
Totally
we're
Big Bird
making
is
it.
Aiden.
You know the the thing on Instagram that was like, what coffee would each of them be? This is going to be as
Yeah.
big
Yes.
as that. It's
Dude,
going to be
s-
fucking good.
Snuffleupagus is Mr. Too Big because he's got that big trunk.
Giant truck, Mr. Cocky.
Mr. Cocky.
Also, who's just like the sleepiest? Someone who is, I think it's someone's joke. I think it's a stand-up joke. Someone who's famous, but they're like, and Snuffleupagus was just always on heroin. It was
it's Chris
Chappelle.
Rock. Chappelle. I think Bunny's the count then, right?
Bunny's the count.
I don't know. Was the count slightly racist?
Yeah, she's just counting how many million you get in your settlement.
Who's like a super perfectionist? Super like this is the way the rules are.
It's
I don't
weird.
know. We'll text about
we
it
gotta
and get
we got to
up
get
some
more
pictures.
into. We got to get more into Sesame Street. But yeah, Muppets and Sex and the City.
My,
Okay, let's
my
go through you
background's
guys.
pretty boring. I'm just in San Francisco. I got the Golden
But
Gate
you know what's
Bridge.
interesting? If you look on your background, that you're in San Francisco, but there's still a window
There's
and
a-
like an empty picture frame. So you got like you're in like an MC Escher version of
There's
San
a window
Francisco.
and a picture. Yeah, and my brother lives like right there,
Yeah, and
City.
you're close
That's
to
cool.
Napa. You're close to Napa.
very close.
I'm
Don't
here-
go there.
I'm here
I'm
with the
taking
ball
a nap.
boy, the ball boy himself. We got Steve. Steve
Kermit the
is
Steve.
wearing- He's Kermit the Steve. He is wearing a Brooklyn shirt. That is where all three of us live and have all lived for over a decade. He's got a basketball that is representative of why we're all here today, March Bradness. And then he also looks kind of like a needy 12-year-old because he's got some. He's just got a thing of juice. It's like he just ran in and was like, like he takes such a big sip of Gatorade that he can't breathe after, and he's like,
I love when kids do that.
I have a question. Can we go back outside because the other guys are out at West Fourth Courts and Rich Stein is there, and Rich Stein has been really busy lately, and I was wondering if me and Skipper could play basketball for a little bit longer, then I'll be home just after dinner in an hour. and then Miranda's like, "You're an adult. You don't need to fucking ask me."
Okay,
What
cool.
you
And he just sprints out.
Okay, bye.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll see
That's
ya.
a bit. All right, we have a big night tonight in terms of March Bradness.
Yeah.
We have the Elite Eight. We're in the elite. We have 16 teams left. Yeah, 16 boyfriends yet, and we're bringing it home tonight.
These are the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each woman has 4 people left, boyfriends. I'll go through them really quick. Carrie has Big, Burger, Bill Kelly, and Aiden. That is a powerful lineup right there.
Right. Yes. So powerful. Very strong.
Miranda has Steve, Walker Lewis, who we haven't met, right? No, we've met Walker Lewis. Walker Lewis, Detective Stevens, and Robert Leeds is who we haven't met yet. That's Miranda's. Charlotte is Harry, Shmuel, Rabbit, and Justin Anderson III. Just one of my favorite.
Besides Justin Anderson,
brackets.
that is just that's a legendary
I know.
thing right there. Wait, break
Like
it down
if you-
again. We got Harry.
Shmuel, Harry versus Shmuel, and then the Rabbit versus Justin Anderson.
What happened to? I thought Stephen Gay won.
What's this?
I have
Stephen Gay. Stephen Gay is the guy who they don't know if he's gay or not. That's Stephen Gay, right?
I have Justin Anderson going out first round.
I had Justin Anderson beating Steven. Well, we're gonna have to do some fact checking here, but
And then
We're
wait,
gonna do some
and
fact
then-
checking on our own
and then
competition.
did Trey lose?
no, Trey lost to Justin. You were very frustrated about that last week.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I circled the wrong person.
I think you circled the wrong person. And then in Samantha's bracket, we have Thor versus Farmer Luke, and then the Fireman versus Richard. Just overall, and a lot of excitement is about to go down tonight.
You know what? Here's
Yeah.
here's the thing I'd have my eyes most on is, like stamina is a big thing in a tournament.
Yeah.
After such a huge busy day yesterday, can the Rabbit keep up? I mean, yesterday the Rabbit had to be delivering some baskets all around the entire world and nation.
It was Easter yesterday before we recorded this. It was
Yes,
Easter.
it was
yeah. And I think that's maybe why Trey went out early. His support system, Bunny, was getting ready for Easter, and now the Rabbit, who knows how the Rabbit's performing because the Rabbit had a busy day yesterday. Can they come back?
Dude, if you want to talk about stamina, though, the Rabbit is battery powered. So,
You just swap out those batteries.
you got to think,
Rabbit's ready to go.
stamina. If this is a stamina game, you got to think the Rabbit's looking pretty good and Farmer Luke's looking good. Farmer Luke may have been up at sunrise milking cows, but he's got those meat and potatoes fueling him through this tournament. And
he
the
takes
fireman.
a big old swig of a glass of milk and then he's good. Yeah, the fireman too.
Mm-hmm.
In all seriousness, though, I think the Rabbit, barring a really bad roll, like as a 3 seed, probably can do it pretty easily. Harry and Shmuel and Big and Burger, those are the ones I have my eye on. Because if Burger upsets Big here, fuck.
It's game over. Which might
And
not
then
even
Walker
be-
Lewis Steve.
It's insane. Should we get to rolling?
Yeah,
I think we should get to rolling.
I think
okay.
we're gonna have some heartbreakers.
We're rolling the dice to see who wins. What's gonna happen? Have you reviewed us on the podcast app? Please give us 5 Cosmos. Oop, looks like the results are here. Goodbye.
Welcome back, everybody.
Well,
we
that
are
was
down
the
to.
Scoops Callahan Family Hour. And now
So-
we're back after the rolls.
I said that was the Elite Eight, but now we're in the Elite Eight. That was really the Sweet 16.
That was the Sweet 16. Now we're down to the Elite 8, and that was quite a matchup. So now
I'll be
some
honest,
real
I hated
some real heartbreakers.
I hated that round. I'm not
That was
not
tough.
pleased. Our nightmare scenario has come into fruition.
We
Like you said, Kevin, Burger knocked out Big. We're just gonna start with we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off. Big shit the bed.
Big had
so
one of
hard.
the worst rolls of all time.
Dude.
Big, Walker Lewis. I mean, I went back and I told John, I said, after he did the roll, like a coach running onto the field knowing his team was desperate, I said, check the tape.
Yeah, he literally made me hold up the phone so he could review the tape and see what Big actually rolled, and he did really bad. He did really poor.
Playoffs.
But
Playoffs.
we have Aiden. Aiden squeaked by Bill Kelly. So the final carry matchup is Burger versus Aiden.
And if you're Team Big or Team Aiden, I would say no matter what in this next matchup, you're going to be Team Aiden.
Yeah.
Because nobody out there is really Team Burger.
I know. Could you imagine if Burger wins? How upsetting that'll be.
Good gosh. That's
well,
gonna be
it's
insane.
there's already a slight disconnect between people that follow us on Instagram and people that listen to it. Because when we said that Smith didn't win, people are like, "Why? Who the fuck is choosing this?" And then I tried to like explain. I'd be
it.
like, "We're rolling dice for a project we're doing." Like, and they were just all these people were just so mad. And then I posted the video of Smith losing, and it got like 0 views because it was too convoluted. People were like. We were like, what the fuck is this account that I just randomly followed because Kristen Davis like...
Exactly. I just want to click on pictures and like them.
That's-
Pretty pictures.
Listen,
That's
we-
just the world we're living in right now.
We want engaged followers or we don't want you at all. If you have headphones in your ear right now and you know what all 3 of our real names are, you're a fan. If you're someone who
fan.
just clicks on, gives a little heart every single time we do a perfectly posed photo that we lifted from GQ between Big and Carrie, then you know what? Unfollow us.
out of here.
Get out
of here.
Yeah.
Unless you are getting our stuff onto the Instagram Discover page, then please stay.
Stick around.
Please stay.
That that helps us somehow.
Anytime someone comments on our Instagram, if it's something that annoys me, I'll just put below. I'll be like, "Tell me who Ank is," and if you don't know, you're fucking blocked. Okay?
You know what? Hey, I looked at all your other accounts. You think you're so woke? Who's Cajun feminist? Huh? Oh, you're a big Bernie supporter. Tell me three things Cajun feminist believes.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's run through the rest of these, and then we're gonna go into the next round.
Equal
All right,
pay,
so
marriage equality, and
a
a
whole
damn
lot
good
of-
jambalaya.
a damn good jambalaya, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Everybody out there, they're gonna get the stimulus of crawfish. All right, you're gonna get $20 worth of crawfish sent to your house.
That's right.
First of all, right now, I don't believe that women should have to pay for their feminine hygiene products. Second of all, you don't need to over powder sugar your beignet.
Hey, listen, there's enough. You gotta be enough powdered sugar around for everybody out there. Okay, so like, take one bag and then just powder sugar your beignet the way everybody got to do it. Okay.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Cafe du Monde, it's the whole
Miranda's.
world.
We're going to
The
you guys-
whole world, Cafe
you guys
du Monde.
can continue talking like that, but it has to be about the fact that Steve beat Walker Lewis, and
Wow.
Detective Stevens came out of middle of nowhere and beat Robert Leeds.
Amazing.
It's just like the dice are really attracted to that Steve name because we got Steve and Detective Stevens. We got Steve Stevens here.
I'm okay having Detective Stevens make a run for it. I just don't. There's some other scenarios I'm not happy with. So,
I
which
know.
is you coming at the next one right here. You can tell about
Yeah,
talk
right
about
here.
it.
Next
John.
one we have Samantha. Thor beat Farmer Luke, which I was okay
Wow.
with either of those. I would have liked to see Farmer Luke skip past Thor, but Thor took down Farmer Luke, and then Richard took down the fireman.
Good.
So,
I'm good with that one.
but there are dream scenarios, right? Like we'll finish with Charlotte. Rabbit versus Justin Anderson. This one we never saw coming. Justin Anderson in the 10 seed takes down the Rabbit. It's insane.
The 10 seed going to the Elite 8, taking down the Rabbit, who we said had the most stamina of anyone.
Just
Yeah, I mean,
and-
didn't put
and
the new
then-
batteries in. Got to use your
then-
rechargeables.
And then Harry versus Shmuel.
The Jew off.
The battle of the Jews. Harry
Battle-
took down Shmuel, and so we have Harry versus Justin Anderson, which actually is a little bit serendipitous because I believe Justin Anderson was the last person that Charlotte hooked up with before meeting Harry. So
And we don't want to read into it too much, but that was sort of like a old like Orthodox versus like more modern
Reformed.
Reformed Jew. I mean,
Reformed.
read into it how you
Yeah.
may, but I mean, it's just
They're both chosen.
Yeah.
So
So-
only one can go forward, though.
So let's talk about a nightmare scenario. My personal nightmare scenario is Burger versus Detective Stevens, and then Thor versus Justin Anderson III. That's a snooze fest that no one cares about. But underneath that nightmare is a little bit of a hidden gem. We do have a dream scenario, and that is Aiden versus Steve. Just the battle of Scout's ball, and Harry versus Richard. Like that's
Harry Richard, and then that would take us into a potential Harry Aiden, Harry Steve.
or Harry Steve. Like
I will say this. I'm thankful that it's not going to just turn into like Harry is number one, but it's like it's really interesting to if Richard, Aiden, Steve. I mean, they kind of have one of each.
Yeah,
There's an upset and a 1 or 2 seed.
Exactly. What's interesting is if we had like the Harry Richard matchup as potential. That's just like straight up. It's what good fantasy is written. It's just good versus evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's the yin and the yang. And a Harry Steve championship would be. I would accept that. I would be very pleased with that.
I'll say this now. Looking at my bracket from where I filled this out at the beginning, my final matchup that I have is Harry and Steve in the final. That's who I've got in my final.
What? My
bracket in so many other ways has been destroyed, as everyone's was by the Smith upset.
Yeah.
And I in my final right now, I have Steve and Harry. I still have Aiden in the game, as most people probably do. Mm-hmm. Samantha bracket is destroyed. But a Harry Steve one, I would love it because that would put me back in a little bit.
You want to hear my potential for my final 4?
Yeah.
This is what I have for my final 4. Mr. Big, Skipper,
Done.
Turtle,
Done.
Shmuel.
Done. Oof. Yeah, you just got destroyed. Get out of
Who
here.
was your final 4, John? Who was your final 4?
Mine's on my. I would have to find it. It's on my computer here somewhere, but I have the other one pulled up. So let's
go roll off for the final 4.
Yeah, we'll be back.
My final 4. I'll say this: my final 4. There's 3 left. 3 left.
That's impressive.
All right,
we'll be back.
I'm an impressive guy. All right, here we go.
Bye.
Googly goo goo goo, and we're back.
All right, and then there were 4. Now we're back.
That's
that was.
This is a
that
tough
was a
one.
round.
We talked
I don't
about
wanna-
nightmare
Down to the final
scenarios.
4.
We talked about dream scenarios, and this is like right
Yeah.
in the middle.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I like this idea anymore.
When we talked about doing this, Kevin said there's one thing that will make this whole project super shitty, and that's if Carrie's boyfriend that gets representative in the final 4 is Burger. And let's start with the bad news. Cory, deliver it.
Guess who? Well, Kevin said that, and guess who's in the final 4? Burger.
Who do you like better, Big or Aiden?
Guess who?
Well,
Yeah.
Fate likes Burger, unfortunately.
Yeah, the dice
Yeah.
like Burger.
Aiden must have eaten a giant bucket of chicken before the game and just didn't show up to play because he didn't have a good roll. And I'll say this: Burger didn't have a great roll, but it was a 1-point game.
It was 1 point difference.
Yeah, Burger won 18-17 on that.
And then another heartbreak is Detective Stevens takes out Steve. The good news is though, a lot of fans like Detective Stevens. He's really popular. So that's
But
positive,
they like
but
detectives. They like Detective Stevens like I don't know, like you're down
like
to
someone
throw
like
on
Farmer Luke or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'll settle for checking out Law and Order if The Sopranos isn't available. Like
I
it's
think
it's
I've
just
never seen either of those shows, but I think I get it.
I think Steve Brady. We're very sad Steve Brady's out of this tournament. We love Steve. I was really bummed to see that he's not going to be going forward.
Yeah,
it's like us being excited about recording a podcast on Zoom when we couldn't be together. It's like,
yeah.
You know what? It works, but it's not like the real thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is some positive stuff here. The first good news. Well, I guess there's only one good news. Samantha's representative is Richard, who also everyone else hates. So we have Burger and Richard as the evil side of the representation, and then the ultimate good news is Charlotte's knight in shining armor, the man. The man
Think about
from
it
the
this
Upper
way,
East
though.
Side,
If
with
you're a
sweat
hotel-
and baked cream cheese on his face.
Yep.
If you're a lawyer or a hotel magnate, you show up to fucking win. You're not showing up. You're not showing up saying like, "Oh, I'm a writer. I hope my memoir does well." It's like, no, you can't hope it does well. You either write or you don't write, Burger. Now shut
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
All right. And if you're a detective, it's like, listen, I don't know. I don't want to disparage our boys in blue. So I don't know what else to say. Detective Stevens, you know what Detective Stevens has been doing? when he went up against Steve, he's like, I know you own a bar, but what I've been doing, like I've prepared for this moment my whole life. It's the people with the jobs that you need to happen that have showed up.
Yeah, this is the Steve that like the Steve that showed up was the Steve that no one likes. The one that's sitting in his underwear watching cartoons when he should be doing something else. And Detective Stevens is, he's out there finding shoes, showing up.
He had a murder he needed to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're down to 4 names left, and those 4 names are Berger, Detective Stevens, Harry, and Richard. And we're actually going to do these roles live on air. So I need you guys.
That's right.
I need some commentary here while I'm doing the mental math. Do we want to do Charlotte versus Samantha? Do you want to do Harry versus Richard or Berger versus Detective Stevens first?
Do you want to? Does anyone have a coin? You want to flip a coin on that?
I think I don't have a coin on me. Just let's start since we're least because I think we're
Harry,
all rooting
we
for
got to go
at this
Harry
point.
Richard first.
All right, Harry Richard first. So
okay. So here we go. So
the advantage for Harry is 3 points. All right, let me record this because I have recorded every dice roll. So we're gonna do Harry's roll first. So
all right, so John, so Harry, what's
so Harry
a
rolls
3-point lead.
He got a
Richard.
6, 6, 4, 2, 1. So he got 16 plus 3 is 19. So Harry rolled a 22 because he had 3-point lead, right? 22.
Yep.
That's a really good.
3-point
That's a
handicap.
really good. That's a really good roll. 22.
I wouldn't expect anything less
definitely
from Harry.
beatable. Richard could beat it.
Okay, hold on. My headphones went dead. Hold on.
Okay. Well, we're talking here. I'm gonna roll for Richard here. Richard needs to beat a 22, and Richard rolls a.
Come on.
He got a 5.
Uh-huh.
A 6, a 1, a 2, and a 2. So that's 16.
6, 1,
so Harry is going to be.
Harry is going to the finals.
Harry is in the finals. Hallelujah.
Love it. Love it. See, like I said, here's the thing. I said I had Harry in my final, but I'm just glad that Harry's in the finals.
Yeah, that feels
even if
right.
I didn't have him, that feels right. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Berger versus
Now-
Detective Stevens here.
You know
Now
what?
we're
I'll
in the
say this
dark.
before we do the roll. I'll just say this. I'll be like, that gives me a little bit of calm because I know that Harry's in the perfect position to take this home, and that's going to be a fan favorite for us on Instagram, on our listeners, for everybody. But we'll see. I mean, it could be good versus evil.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So Berger also has a 3-point advantage here against Detective Stevens. So
All right. So then let's see.
Berger's roll is. All right. Berger rolled a 4, a 2, a 6, a 2, and a 3. So that's 10, 17, 20. So Berger rolled a 20. That's a good roll.
That's a good roll. What did Harry roll to 21? Is that what Harry rolled?
I think so. Yeah. But
Yeah.
But they got to play
Wait,
against each other.
did you add in his bonus? So he's
I did.
17 plus 3?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right, so Detective Stevens is going to get a. Oh no.
All right.
Detective Stevens rolls a 23. Is that a tie? That's a tie.
That's a tie.
All right, so we do a
Okay.
we do a
Wait,
single
what was
dice.
I thought you said so Berger was 20 plus 3.
Yeah, 23.
Got
And
you.
Detective Stevens just rolled a natural. He rolled 2
Oh.
6s, 2 4s, and a 3. So now we go to a single dice roll off. Berger's roll is single dice.
Single dice roll off.
A 2. Detective
Holy
Stevens' roll is
shit.
a 2. That means we give it to the underdog and Detective Stevens versus Harry.
No way. Berger lost on a double tie, goes to the lower seed. That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's how we do it.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. So our finals here, folks, is Detective Stevens at the 6th seed versus Harry at the 1 seed. It all comes down to this. Miranda's boyfriend versus Charlotte's boyfriend. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either. I thought it was going to be a Carrie versus a Samantha boyfriend, to be honest.
Totally.
I mean, my bracket didn't say that, but now that I go off gut reaction, that's what I was thinking. But
I am so
Wow.
glad that Berger got knocked out. Holy cow.
Wow. And you know what? It was sort of like he had every opportunity. He had the advantage.
Yeah.
And then he went down to single dice. Like, you had every opportunity. All you needed to do is and he didn't show up.
I
It
know.
was like, hey, why are you at the laundromat with another woman when you have a girlfriend? Why aren't
Yeah.
Why aren't you on the court?
Now, do you think we don't know a ton about Berger, but do you think Berger would kind of make it a big deal that he's like, yeah, but I lost on a tie. Like, did I really lose?
Now there was
I
some
don't know.
confusion because Kevin, you thought I said 20. Should I go back and fact check this? Should I go back and review the tapes?
I think
Review
it's
the
worth
tapes
reviewing the
because
tape. I was a little confused as well.
All right, you guys chat. I'm gonna review the tapes. Real
Okay,
quick.
so this is not our first. This is actually our second tape review. We did a tape review when we had the Big and Aiden, right?
Yeah.
We did a tape review on the Big and Aiden one. If it is Detective Stevens and Harry, then that comes down to like in a regular like March Madness or something when you have like a favored team.
The only difference.
you-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say a favorite team, and then just a team who's like, oh, they've been in the tournament some. I mean, they're good, but
The
like,
only thing that would happen right here is we wouldn't have needed that roll off. Either way, Detective Stevens wins, I believe, right? Because you rolled a 23, and Berger
rolled a
either rolled a
23,
20
yeah.
or a 23.
yeah. So this really wouldn't change anything. It would just be that we didn't need the roll off. That's
it would
true.
it would just show that Berger like truly didn't show up.
yeah,
Like
that he
really
truly
just
lost.
did not.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to do it. So, Corey, when do we think we should do these finals? Give it a week. Do it next Tuesday's live stream. That way we can.
Which
we have
finals?
The final one, Harry versus Detective Stevens.
All right, I have big news. Kevin, you were right. Berger rolled a 17 plus a 3, a 20. So Detective Stevens beat him outright. So we didn't even need to go to a showdown, but we did go to the showdown.
Look
and Detective Stevens still showed up. We looked at the tape, and Detective Stevens, he really earned that, even though he didn't have to.
Wow.
That's insane.
It was
totally won
It was
that.
fair and square, so much so that if you take his role without any help, if you take his role, he would have beat every single person in round one. The first round, Detective Stevens had one of the highest rolls of the entire day without any help, without
Yeah.
any bonus points. That is a fucking NYPD boy in blue.
That's right.
That is what we're looking at right there.
And so now
Yeah.
we got the law versus the lawyer here. The battle of the badge is what they call this one.
So, John,
Yeah.
when do you think we should do this live roll?
What are you talking about? I think we should do it right now.
I thought we were doing it now.
We're going to do it now.
Or do you want to
Okay.
do it on Instagram Live or something like that?
What do you all think?
I think we do it now. Let's just go.
I think we
do
do
it.
it now.
Let's just do it.
I think the fans are here for it. I think we do it now.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got the video, so we can put the video on Instagram.
All right,
right.
here we go. So it's a 6 seed versus a 1 seed. That means it's a 5-point difference. Divide that by 2. You get 2.5. Round up 3. Add 2. 5. Harry has a
fast math.
5-point advantage. My question is: we always would let the top seed roll first, but I think we should let Detective Stevens roll first in this case. What do you think?
Is that tempting fate? Why do we switch that?
Because it's the finals, man. It's the big dance.
I wish
What do
we
you
had. Do you have 10 dice? That would be the real deal.
Yeah, but then they would mess up the handicaps.
No, they wouldn't. Do you have 10 dice?
Yeah,
Die?
yeah.
Wait, you just have to double it, but then you're just rolling higher numbers.
No, you don't. Katie takes 5 and you take 5. One is Detective Stevens. One is Harry. You roll all of them at the same time.
That's funny. They're very close to the same color. I think we just need to do it.
I think where's the access to the 10 dice?
Kevin, you're like someone that you're like
I have like 100 die right here.
Where's Katie?
Dude.
Can we help? Just
Do
two
you-
different surfaces.
Do you want me to go grab her?
Yeah. It's
All
the
right,
big
let me see.
dance.
It's the big dance. All right, hold on.
All right.
Because listen,
All
when
right.
you're playing poker and someone like misdeals and then just tries to reset it, it's like, no, you have to restart from scratch because just switching the names around does not switch dice. People get murdered over this in card games. All right?
Yeah, there are people. Yeah, people. Totally. People,
In blackjack?
people get murdered in their fantasy TV bracket dice games. That is totally true.
They will after this comes
Yeah.
out. All right, so
Yeah.
this is what we have. We have have you
We
ever
got
played
Katie in the
blackjack
room-
at
in
a
the room.
casino?
We're gonna do 5
Yeah.
dice at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like
Who do you
if
think I
you
am,
hit when
Kevin?
you're not supposed to hit, and then the person who knows how to play next to you is like, "What the fuck?
Hey,
You fucked up my
hey,
whole
Kevin. If you're a freaking high roller,
All right, we
you
got
always
we got
hit.
Katie in here. Do you want Katie to be Harry or Detective Stevens?
Katie
Who do
Katie
you
gets
want
to
be,
choose.
Harry? You want to be Harry or Detective Stevens? You want to be Harry. All right, she'll roll for Harry. I'll roll for Detective Stevens.
All
All
right,
right.
you're rolling it all at the same time on different surfaces.
Yeah, she's over there. I'm over here. Make sure.
All right.
Put your hand up so they don't fall. Here we go. 3,
5,
4, 2.
What the hell?
Counting on a delay zoom. 3, 2, 1. Roll. All right. You add yours up and then add 5. All right. So Detective Stevens got 17. So Harry
17.
got 17. I'll add these up.
Detective Stevens, 17. We're still waiting to hear back from Harry. 17 is a marginal.
17 is not a bad roll.
The winner of the 2020 March Bradness tournament,
Yeah.
a score of 7. What did this guy roll? 17 to 21 is Harry Goldenblatt.
Wow. Yes.
How?
Yes.
Dude, that's like you
Harry.
believing the whole time we're believing.
Yes.
This is like, oh man.
Oh, geez, this feels so
He
good.
pulled it off.
Oh,
Harry
Friggin'
wins.
pulled it off.
Thank you.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Katie. Great roll.
Thank you. The
Great
voice of the
roll.
Bradshaw Boys here to help us out. Unbelievable.
She had like this small little corner on our dresser, and she was rolling for Harry, and he came out.
Listen
came
to
out a
that.
champion.
So wait, what was Detective Stevens' roll? 17?
17.
That's just, Harry had to bring the entire weight of his character along with him to win, because if he didn't have that seed advantage, if you're going just roll to roll, Stevens takes that.
I know,
Yeah.
but
You
know
got
what?
it.
He had it.
Nailed
He had it. He
That's-
knew it. That's the
that's
cream cheese
unbelievable.
special right there. That's the
Hey, I'll-
little extra cream cheese on his lip. That's the
I
bachelor
think-
pad.
But that was a. Wait, what was the bachelor pad?
That's what they call it, the advantage. It's the bachelor pad, man.
The bachelor pad.
This was,
it's-
I'm glad it ended well.
Yeah.
That was,
I think it was a true March Madness. There's a lot of twists and turns and stuff, and then you get a real champion coming out at the end.
yeah,
was
because
great.
at the
Really
end of the
did.
day, it's somebody who knows their shit. Somebody who handle. It's like, listen, Berger, you can like fake your way through it, but when the rubber meets the road, like, I don't know, Richard, are you going to be able to wipe that glaze off your face and be a champion? Not today. Not against Harry Goldenblatt.
Not against Harry. That was incredible. Yeah. I thank you everyone for listening. I hope you liked March Bradness. This is the first time that we've done it, but you can guarantee we're going to be doing it for several years moving
And
forward.
guess what? We're going to have to go look up all of your brackets, and then we're going to be able to announce a winner, and we're going to be able to get you whoever won. We have to go through all our brackets and add all this up, and then we can figure out who is going to get a private voice message from the queen herself, the wife of the champion.
That's
Yeah.
true.
She's gonna be so excited to know that Harry won.
Yes. We'll explain it to her. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Wait,
there's a little dresser, and
what?
Katie rolled 5. Okay, never mind.
So so we did the seeds, and he had a 5-point advantage. It's called the Bachelor Pad, and
Okay.
oh man, all right,
This is
dudes.
amazing. We Kevin, you brought up something the last time that we signed off, and that's something I'd love to get some fan input on. We need an official sign off.
Yeah, we've got a fan name. Our fans are called Pop Tarts.
The Pop-Tarts.
But we need a fan sign off.
Mm-hmm.
We need something to say when we leave. We already have at the end. Our announcer Jeremy says tip your glass, but we need something to say.
What if we
when
just
when
what
get
if we
out of here.
just dunk in it and we're like, hey everybody, wish you well. We've got to go. We need to have sex tonight.
That's pretty good. I'm thinking like we
Is
couldn't
it too
help
sexual though?
It's a little sexual. Mine is
Yeah,
like,
I would say it's 100% sexual. So that's pretty sexual. You're like, is it too sexual? Where we're just saying we need to go have sex tonight.
I think
So
we
it's
need to
very
think
sexual.
about it, and it needs to be something with like we couldn't help but wonder. Like we couldn't help but wonder something.
Mm-hmm. We couldn't
Yeah.
help but wonder. We need to have sex tonight. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Jon Sieber, and Kevin James Doyle. The show is produced by Jeremy L. Balon. For more information on the guys, check out their website at bradshawboys.com, on social media at The Bradshaw Boys, and if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.